Hi everyone, and welcome to the Innovation Tech Community. And today, another episode with Josh Lewis with harnessing the power of the AI with the GitHub Copilot. Yeah, so everyone knows about this GitHub Copilot. So the new era of AI. So we have to know lots of information about the GitHub Copilot and some demoing with Josh Lewis as well. So he demonstrated lots of demos for you, and he will tell you about how key roles about the GitHub Copilot and everything. And meanwhile, I'm Pratap Reddy. I'm Microsoft MVP, and I just and hi. Did you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Please let's get started. And I'm at the back end. I would like to present the comments. Those who are having any questions and everything, I would like to ask you in the middle of the session, if you are okay with that.
Perfect. Thank you, Pratap.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I just shared
Hello,
your.
everybody.
Yeah.
So I see that. I still see a bit of noise. I don't know if there is a mic open. Maybe you can mute it. Hello, everybody. And thanks for having me in the Global AI Summit. So let's begin. I'm a software engineer, developer at Swiss Life, Swiss company. I'm here with my beautiful cat, which helps me code and helps me relax and distress. I'm also Microsoft MVP and lately digging a lot into AI. And I hope these 15, more or less 50 minutes, right, Pratap, will be enjoyable and you have fun with that and learn a bit. You let me know. Alrighty. So let's begin. This image shows a developer looking tired, frustrated in front of a computer. It's clearly down outside. It has spent the night coding, all night coding. I've been there. Have you been there? Probably yes. If you have been at least 5 years in software engineering, yeah. So this image is very clear. It's sheer frustration, tired eyes. Um, yeah. So I guess I hope maybe I should not hope that, but you have probably been there, at least looking at a piece of code for a long time. Yeah, it's that moment when you untangle complex mass of code, you're dealing with these stubborn syntax errors that don't want to go away. And yeah, it's these moments that we feel alone, truly alone. All right. So this is the reality of coding. It's challenging, it's maddening, it's incredible rewarding. But on the other side, it's super interesting, super happy when everything works. And guess what? It doesn't have to be this hard. Because what if there was a tool that could sit by your side, like when you are doing extreme programming? Extreme programming, for those that don't know, is when you work in a pair. One is the pilot, and other is the copilot. It takes two persons to write the code, but the good things that come with that is that usually you generate the best code ever. Yeah, and also it helps to avoid the struggles and offers a helping hand. Why not? All right. That's where GitHub Copilot comes into the picture. It's not just any tool, it's like having a copilot, it's like having a friend ready to help you navigate through the complexities. And yeah, maybe sometimes doesn't get everything right, but other times you have this aha moment. Oh my God, this is how I would do that. And I had that in the past months with this copilot thing. It's pretty cool. Sometimes frustrating, but it also really helps. Copilot in this tale we am telling you today is the hero of our story. But what exactly is GitHub Copilot? Sorry, got a bit of a cold, so I need to take regular sips. Imagine having a pair programming who's there 24/7 and ready to jump with suggestions, solutions, and even write code for you. This kind of code, the snippets that you don't want to write, or this thing, I have to write this code again and again. Yep. As developers, we are always on the lookout for tools that make our lives easier. And Copilot does just that. It's not about fixing errors, it's about enhancing your developer experience, building a complex, helping you writing a complex application or working on a side project is there to guide you, offering code suggestions in real time in your editor. But again, what is powering it? At the heart of it, it's basically OpenAI. So we have two models. One is GPT 3.5 using OpenAI codecs, which is meant for software, creating software and coding. These are not just fancy terms, they are advanced AI models created by OpenAI. GPT 3.5 is known for language understanding capabilities, while OpenAI Codex specializes in interpreting and generating code. Together, they form the brain of Copilot, enabling it to understand your coding language and provide context-aware suggestions. And context is important here. We will see that in a moment. This is cutting edge. We're talking about AI that can read your code, understand your intent, and predict what you're going to write next. It's sometimes like having Oracle uh, in your toolkit, or well, in my case, my girlfriend reads my mind a lot of times, but let's not go there. This is not speeding your coding; it's about enhancing your workflow, reducing your way to do that. As mentioned, there are two methods, right? One is GitHub Copilot, which is in line with your code. Let's think about that like intelligence in asteroids, and GitHub Copilot Chat, which is a more advanced model. It's GPT-4, which is context aware. You open a chat and you chat, and the context is all the code you have open. It's for me, both have a place to be. We will take a look at both of them today. Again, this is basically you code in context, and it happens in your favorite IDE, either it's Visual Studio, NeoBeam, I never used this one, Visual Studio Code, or JetBrains IDE. A lot of my colleagues like it a lot. I don't use it yet. All right. Before we dig in, it's important to understand how does it work? What are the inner workings of it? It's really important to take a look at that. So essentially, GitHub Copilot happens in the cloud. So we have to be aware that we have our IDE in local. If we are working in local, we can also have our development environment in the cloud. If you follow GitHub, you know about code spaces. But let's think you're working on your laptop. You have your GitHub Copilot plugin. You need a license. This is a SaaS service and it happens in the cloud. So first you go and have an authorization license check. You receive a token. Once you have the token, you can work for a bit until you need to renew it. And then you send the context prompt. This is sent to the cloud, to Azure, where Copilot is working. There is a proxy, and it delegates the work to one or more LLMs. And once the work is done, it provides suggestion back. That means you need a license, you need a connection to internet, and your code is traveling. So you have to be aware of that. This is very important. Some companies don't like that and don't allow to work with Copilot. All right, let's proceed. Good. If we dig in a bit more, this is what is happening in the proxy service. So we have this authentication, we have a sentiment analysis. So it detects if you are talking back to it, so don't do that. It goes to the LLM and provides the outcome. And then it has a security filter. This code is secure, can be executed without problems, will not provoke a problem in your systems. It does a PII filter. If I had an audience, I would ask, who knows who PII is or what PII is? But yeah, mm, unless you want to say something, Pratap, but no, then PII is personal identifiable information. So if I put a telephone number there, it will take it away and, sorry, too late, and take it out of the code. And then it has sentiment analysis, so it detects hate or any abusive comment and will remove it. And then it will do a duplicate detection. So it's helping us to implement this dry principle, don't repeat yourself. And an open source filter. So it checks for open source projects and reviews if any part of the code is similar or exactly identical to any in one of the open source project which the license does not allow to use them or part of them. All right. And if it is, it gets removed essentially. And this is how it works in the cloud. Just saying, it will try to use a Azure data center, which is closest to you, but it does not ensure that. So your data can get out of the country, which companies, some of them, like mine, don't like. Yeah, all right. But let's go to the good things. What can GitHub Copilot do for us? Mhm. Yeah, so you can complete code. Well, aside from the fact that it's AI and everybody wants AI as fast as possible, and all the companies are like in this AI craziness, it really helps you complete comments. It's boilerplate code helping you focus on what's important, and it can transform comments into code. It provides different alternatives. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not, and yeah, it understands your our workspace, our code context, and this is something that's going to evolve this year. It sorry, it was announced in this event that was done end of year in GitHub, GitHub Universe, I think it's called. And they announced a lot of new things coming, right? When you set up Copilot Pro in your company or Copilot Enterprise, you will be able to train with your code base. So it will code as one more coder in your company, which is pretty impressive, and learn not from the context that you have, but from the context that you have in your Git repository, which is pretty cool. One thing to say, the Copilot at the moment has about 4K tokens. As soon as the models evolve, we will have more. I mean, if you follow the news, Gemini has one, uh, I think it's 1,005, well, I think 1,020, 125,000 tokens is able to handle now, and I think it's growing. I think the latest GPT-4 is also that high, so I believe in a moment they will have all your code in memory and understand it. So it's pretty impressive how these things are evolving. So, what can GitHub Copilot not do for us? So, it can not replace developers yet. It requires a developer to initiate the request. It does not work on its own. It needs a click, a mouse, or keyboard. It at the moment it cannot build an enterprise application with minutes, not yet. And take this with a grain of salt. I believe this is an important moment to learn and benefit and let AI help us. At the end, the more we know how to use these tools, the better our code or our productivity will be. So it's quite an interesting moment, this one we are living. I'm also digging into generative AI for programming agents with semantic kernel. It's really crazy how things are evolving. All right, I think it's these pillars are quite interesting. I don't know if you are in prompt engineering, but here it is interesting. So you have to provide context. This is the information provided in the prompt that helps Copilot understand what you want and what it has to do. The intent, it's the specific goal or purpose you have in your brain when creating a prompt. But sometimes we like to give things not that clearly. We have to be clear with this. And that comes to the next point. the intent must be clear. So you have to be not ambiguous and then very specific. That will help it do what you want. So let's code a bit. In this case, I'm going to change to Visual Studio Code. Just saying I have extensions. I have installed both of them. I believe they are up to date and should have no code. So could write something. All right. And it's already telling me control I to ask Copilot chat to do something, but I don't want to show you Copilot chat yet. So okay, it's keep giving me some. I don't think. Let me check terminal, the book console, terminal. It takes a look bit. I would like, for example, to not this one. I will do. I don't like this. So you can press tab if you like it. Uh, all right, that's better. And it more or less has a clear intent of what do you want, and it keeps writing the bit divide to numbers, and it takes from the context from simple math, so it's inferring just that and starts to provide some suggestions, which I believe it's quite cool. I could do divide. Why not? I think it's quite interesting what you can do. And here, so we can write from comments, and we can just write the code. Oops. I would do like all right. I mean, it's really very simple. I could think this one. I'll show you something with this in a moment. But we saw that. We saw a bit of extending comment. This also helps a lot in Visual Studio. So I think should have that. Here I can show a bit how it works. That's I wanted to see but didn't show it. So you can see the output of GitHub Copilot, and you can see that the authentication and the service, the telemetry has started. It's requesting the completion. Some parts are cancelled, so you can see a bit things. Sometimes it's a bit slow, sometimes it's better. So right. So I don't know if it's related, but it has pretty. Oh, I did that many times, but in this project I don't have anything related to the previous one. So I will undo. And one cool thing is, I think it's Control Enter. Control Enter is one of my top tips, that it gives you not only one, so it takes its time and prepares 10 different, or if it can do 10 suggestions different to implement what you wanted. Sometimes it can hallucinate a bit because I never ask it to do a prime number. But yeah, you get the point. So let's back to the slides for a moment and let me take a sip. So we have seen the most essential things that mostly everybody is doing with GitHub Copilot, but there is more. This I will skip because I recorded the videos of how to do things, and yeah, just because it's a cloud service, sometimes it does not work as expected, and the demos end up taking more, and then I can swap to the videos, but it's not the case now. So let's go there. We have this thing called Copilot Chat. I mentioned before, it's not just an incremental update, it's a new model. It's a GPT-4 base at the moment. And probably this will evolve. So GitHub does and announce it. It's basically your coding coffee, and you can converse with it, you can query it, you can learn from an AI and ask him or it, hey, why did you do this like that, right? So to me, I recommend you not just use it to learn. Use AI to make yourself better, not to make you more productive, because it's a paradigm change. All right. And it really brings up the game a notch up. If you are deep into coding and you hit a snag, the function you wrote is not behaving, yeah, ask GitHub Copilot chat. It's what this function is returning an error. It will analyze your code, provide a clear, insightful explanation. Or if you're working on a complex algorithm and you are unsure of its efficiency, ask Copilot chat, how can I optimize its algorithm for better performance? It will also get a lot of coding challenges really, really, really well. It's impressive. Have you tried it, Pratap?
Yes, of course I do. I'm using this GitHub Copilot. So whenever I'm facing any issue in the developer mode, so I need to use the GitHub. So they will give you all the all the essentials for us.
Oh, I think it's impressive. Uh, what could I show? I think lead code. Do you know lead code?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's trying. All right, 1 second. I'm trying to. Oh no, things here. Just trying to log in to lead code, and I will share it here in a moment. So I'm going to do that pretty live. So, but I will do that in the demo. So let's finish this section. All right. So again, it helps you to optimize an algorithm and optimizing your code and tailor it to your specific needs. Again, GitHub Copilot Chat will help how to it's a text-based conversational model based on an LLM, this case GPT-4. It's able to modify your code and propose changes and insert them in a concrete place it should be. It depends on the integration and the plugin. It kept changing, so sometimes it does it well, you get a new one and it does not, right? And it's a different model. It's a GPT-4 variation, and it's evolving and as we speak. And it's able to explain coding questions, explain code, fix code, generate tests, test RNS. It's translate languages, identify issues, and many more things, as well as understand our workspace, our code context. And yeah, now it has, I think, 32K tokens. The last time I asked somebody from um, GitHub. Also, there are some changes that you can see. There is API explain some comments. I think not all of them are available in all the IDEs. I think Visual Studio Code, I think we are hearing you, Pratham.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
One second,
all
one
right,
second.
sure. And yeah, basically it's helping a lot to this. Let's go there. So let's do a bit of the GitHub Copilot chat. For this, I really like how this part is also implemented here. So you have the chat. If I put the slash, I can explain. I can go here. Yep. So it will let me make a bit bigger. I make it the font bigger for you. This part and close. All right. These suggestions, I don't want them anymore. Yeah. So I click here and it can explain, right? And I can also tell it, hey, fix. I don't tell it anything else. Okay, I'm asking it to make it more reliable, apply defensive programming. Let's see if it gets it. I mean, defensive programming is checking the parameters that they are right before doing anything. Okay. Yeah, that's good. So I could tell it to apply that or fix test. I could even ask it to implement tests for it. I could even tell it, hey, I want you to generate, um, yeah, I don't like NUnit. I don't know if anybody uses NUnit, but yeah, for this, I should create another project and add this code there, but we have the test already. So this is pretty boilerplate coding that you simply dedicate some time into it. And it can be done automatically and you never learn anything by doing that. So it does not really provide value to you. If you already know, you can get it automated and generated. Mm, the other thing that is you can ask what is wrong with it. There is something wrong. If you know math, you know that in some cases you can have divisor by zero, right? Yes. And it will suggest an implementation and improvement for that. Yep. Or throw the exception, right? Before it's there. So it can help make your code a lot better. And if you get to a code, it's really not good. Yep, you can do that. And let's do one more challenge I mentioned before, right? Um, it can do to really cool things. So I'm going I'm going hard. I'm going for the hardest of these. And first of all, sorry, I just opened it and I wanted it. Yeah, we'll check. Yeah, I don't care. But yeah, for example, algorithm. Let's see regular special matching, right? And it gets only 28% of the questions well. I don't know if this will work. All right. So I just copy that. I'm doing that live. I don't know if this will work. And I will give it, let's go to C#. So let's specific. And let's see if we get that properly. All right. Gives explanation how it would do it, and then gives us the code. And then we can copy it. Yeah. And yeah, I would need to run it, but okay, I would need to run it, but I would tell you this probably will work. I tried it several times. I don't know why I did not have the credentials with me, but you can try that if you have access to GitHub Copilot. I recommend you try that. It's this moment, which is a moment. I will take that away. I'll see if I can sign in somehow, but you get you get the idea of what's going on here. It's pretty powerful. I think we explain code. We look at what the problem was in the case of division by zero. We got some recommendations how to fix it and created the test harness. I think in this case, Visual Studio is a bit better than Visual Studio Code, but usually the GitHub Copilot team is updating the plugin in Visual Studio Code, the one more often than any other one. All right. So I had as well some demos here. And one thing I find kind of cool is this workspace new feature. I don't know if anybody has played with that, but it's super, super exciting that it can create a complete new code base from zero. It's really, really, really impressive. So I have this demo, but I will try to do it here. So for that, I will keyboard new uh, snake. All right. I'm telling you to create a blank new application with JavaScript, and it proposes a structure with even CSS, JavaScript, and even documentation. And if I go and click create workspace, I have to tell it, hey, I want it, yeah, let's do that. And it will create the files and build everything. Last time I tried that, it did not fully work. It only thing it takes a bit of moment. So I will swap to the demo. So it's more or less, we have that. Before it was create workspace, so naming and it has changed a bit. And then here these, I have accelerated. These took like 6 or 7 minutes. Showing here different things. And then the game in this case was working quite fine. So I could eat the apples and go through the elements. I also changed and told it that I want to go through the walls in the original game that may not be allowed. Yeah, but you get the point of it. All right. Then I had a bit of taking a bit of a look, and I will make a challenge to it. I don't know if that will work. Let's see if the snake game work. And I put that in Chrome. I think does not work. That doesn't matter. So I will go again. Yeah. Uh, chat. I want the chat. Yes. So I want to create. Uh, in sure. I'm trying to be even more specific. But last time I tried that, the code did not work. But just to see what level of detail it can generate. All right. So I would generate all this structure for you. And yeah, we'll put it here and it generates all these. So we can wait a bit, but I think this is pretty impressive what can do at the moment for you. And along this year, 2024, it will get even crazier. It will get a lot more impressive. I imagine that we will get some new models or improvements on the models because it's not passing 1 week that we get one new model this week. We got from OpenAI Sora announced. I don't know if it's already available. I saw some people sharing it like crazy, but I think it's the already made videos. As it's not sure if it's already open in preview. Um, Gemini was they released the 1.5 version, so quite an update with a lot of tokens. I think it can hold like a doc 300 pages of documents, which is impressive. And I believe that soon we will have a lot in our plate, able to do a lot more than we have now. So this is taking a bit. Uh, um, no, I don't have a video for this one. So I'm not going to make you wait, but You can try that in your own. I think it's just to create me a stock analysis application using Yahoo services, and then being able to do a backtest. A backtest is when you say, okay, if I purchased these in the past, how much money would I have now, right? So it's kind of nailing some intermediate simulations, and it understands that with a three prompt, three um, three letter prompt, right? It was just a very short one. All right. Stock Analyzer app even created tests, a model. So making it a bit smaller so I can show the text, the stock, symbol, price, and date. Nothing that fancy. It wraps the access to Yahoo service. So it seems to be pretty good. Yeah, even it gave me some work to do, implement the backtest logic here. So I didn't got everything right. It's quite a common line thing, but yeah, it's a star, right? And then the test, okay, yeah. So we need to iterate a bit more. Still not there. Of course, it choose Microsoft. Who else, right? To look at the stock market right now. So I think you get a bit the gist of what is possible today with GitHub Copilot and GitHub Copilot Chat. And let me take a last sip of the day. All right. So I think we are almost done, and now it's the developer that wasn't happy, tired. I hope now you have your horizon a bit broader. You envision a bit the future of software development with AI tools like Copilot. There are more. I think Copilot is one of the best, if not the best, but there are more. But I've not played with more, at least not regarding development. And we are entering an era where AI is not just assisting but collaborating, and we can focus on more creative problem things. So if you know what you want, you can go and get it. Of course, it will not always work, but just imagine the possibilities. These barriers of technical complexities are being thrown, destroy away, and lower a lot. So we will see a surge in innovation with developers of all skill levels bringing their ideas to life more efficiently. And I would say that's a problem because it's empowering a new generation. So these AI tools are helping not developers without experience, and a lot of developers without experience are simply using them and not learning from them, and that's the biggest issue. So if you are one of them, my recommendation is use them to learn, use them to make yourself better, and then you will be able to use it better. I think it's a bit of a chicken and egg thing, but I hope you get the gist of it. And with that vision, I'd like to open the floor for any question you may have. This is your opportunity to deep deeper into anything we have seen today or talk about it today, be it GitHub Copilot, Copilot Chat, or the future of AI coding. Feel free to ask
Yeah,
anything which is in your mind.
yeah. So we have some questions, just so yeah. I just ping here. So Monica is asking, so why GitHub Copilot? We have ChatGPT and Bard and some other LLM, right?
Yes. I mean, the ChatGPT will can
Mhm.
also help. I using myself for getting some ideas, right? And ChatGPT, Bard, or even local models can help you, but usually they don't have the context of your code, so they don't know your code, right? That's the biggest benefit. On the other side, you can, if you're asking a question about coding or something really, really new, the code base of these models using ChatGPT, sorry, in GitHub Copilot is not up to date. So yeah, then you can only get help from
Yeah,
ChatGPT, which has plugins enabled and can do search. Or even better, you can give it the context yourself. You can create a GPT, give it you want to do, for example, uh, I done that myself. Um, in fact, is one of the videos I have pending to finish editing and upload. I did a GPT. I scrape all the website of semantic kernel and put it as knowledge. So I can ask it, hey, based on your knowledge, what do you think about this and that? And it works. So yes, I think you should use them all together. They both have a point. So the question from Monica is pretty good. Thanks for that.
Yeah, and one more question is, what are the ethical consideration associated with using AI-driven tools like GitHub Copilot in software development?
I think you froze, Pratap, but I will respond the question. So, what are the ethical considerations associated with using AI-driven tools? So, yeah, that's a tough question. A good one.
And
How to say it?
uh,
I mean, there's a lot of regulations being brought forward in regards of laws, but so far, the one that affects us as developers, there is nothing protecting us from at one moment AI taking over, right? So even if GitHub is saying, "Oh yeah, you need to click, you need to do that, you need to do," every time these things will do more and more and more, and it's
yeah,
impressive what they can do.
yeah,
So I hope they are regulated, but at one moment, I mean, think about that. It's basically a brain that is in the cloud that can do more things, and every time it's like a race, and all the main companies are working on generating the fastest, brightest brain ever, right? You have uh, Microsoft, you have Amazon, you have Google, you have even a lot of open source that you can get these brains and download your computer and make them work. And it's I mean, at the end, it's the there is ethical. In fact, every time you're turning on a model, is that really a
mm,
model, or it may have some degree of consciousness? Some people say that the BARD systems have some kind of consciousness, and they have identified behaviors that look human-like, right? And think about that. Every time you make a question, a model is created for you,
yeah,
and then power down. It's like, okay, this is born, this is killed. Um,
yeah,
we are laughing at
yeah,
it, but
like
they are getting better,
yeah,
better. At one moment,
yeah,
it will be a question. And also, we have a lot of companies working in putting robotic bodies to these models. That means they will have a lot better memory, they will remember, and they will be embodied.
yes, yes. And say, I mean, one more question from the Monica as well. How does GitHub Copilot handle sensitive or proprietary information within the core snippets, and what measures are in the place of ensure data privacy and security?
Yeah, that's a very good question. At the
Yeah,
moment, for what I know, we have this thing called GitHub Enterprise, right? So I understand you're asking that for enterprise environment, and this will ensure uh, privacy. The question I have is, what about data localization? So where your data will be, that's something I don't know yet, because this is a service that has yet to be uh, published. But as far as I believe, it's using Azure. It ensures your privacy. It's using the most secure environment of Microsoft Azure. So on that part, I think we are safe.
yes, yes, of course. Yeah. So that's all for
Yeah.
this questions part. And I have one question I just texted here. Like, yeah, how does GitHub Copilot revolutionize the development process by the harnessing the power of AI?
Okay. Uh, I mean, usually for once, it can detect your problems. It can code complex algorithms. It can see issues in code. You just have to ask it to detect it.
Yeah.
And I believe it's already helping a lot in boilerplate coding. This part is no discussion, right? It can implement tests for you. then
Yeah.
it's done in no time, and you can iterate on that. I could have asked now, do me extreme cases, edge cases, and usually that's not that easy, and he gets that done in no time. So it can speed up your coding. If that's not a revolution, what is it?
Yeah. So that's all for the Q&A. And if you have any queries, feel free to reach out to Josh Lewis, and he's definitely guide you about this GitHub Copilot as well. And so that's all for my end. So if you have any queries, I mean questions, or you need to share anything about this session, Luis.
Yep. Thank you a lot, Pratap. It's been a pleasure being here. Thanks for the question. Very important.
Yeah.
And again,
Yeah.
I'm saying, for a .NET developer, mostly, which I mostly am, I decided some time ago to push hard into this generative AI coding, agent programming, which I'm jumping into. So if you're curious, jump into something like LangChain, AutoGen, or even better if you are into .NET, semantic kernel.
Mhm.
It's getting better and better every day, and I'm quite into it. So that's
Yeah.
my recommendation for you. Not just use a tool to code, use a tool to learn, make yourself a better human.
Yes,
Make
of
sense?
course. Yeah, of course. I do agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So that's all for. Yeah. So thank you so much, Josh. So for having. So you are demonstrating lots of GitHub and chat, and you can deliver the key points about the GitHub Copilot and how it is used for the daily life and applications and everything. Yeah, it was very. I mean, I enjoyed a lot of the back end. So thank you so much. I think so. Most of the people I texted a person about this GitHub Copilot in the, so it will be streamed on the Facebook as well. So in the Facebook account, everyone is I mean texted like it's very interesting and very interesting. So thank you so much,
Perfect.
Josh, for
My
this
pleasure.
one. So yeah, and I would like to share the screen. I mean, recording in the meanwhile by the end of the day or tomorrow end of the day. So thank you so much, Josh.
Perfect.
And guys,
Thank you, Pratap.
yeah. Stay tuned to this innovation tech community. We have the few more episodes today. So from the 6 p.m. to 12 p.m. as well. I mean 11 p.m. as well. So we have few more speakers from the abroad as well. So they are very excited, and lots of people are registered for this event as well. And thank you so much, Josh. And once again, yeah, thank you. Bye.
Fantastic. Ciao. Thanks for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
hosting.
yeah.